Are you ready to find out what products and what fish Northfin fish food is good for? Well, my buddy out in Canada, Joey Mullins, the king of DIY, said, "This intro is like a puppy that you didn't want, but it grew on you and now you like it." What's going on YouTube? It's Jay Wilson, JWill07, Instagram and Twitter, Jay Wilson on Facebook. You know what's next. Let's go! What's going on, everyone? It's Jay Wilson, and today we're here to talk about Northfin fish foods and the variety that they provide. I'm not going to get into the depths and details of all of the ingredients and how it can better affect your fish. You've seen that, you've heard it, and there's a ton out there. But do you know exactly how many different fish foods Northfin carries? I doubt you do. And did you know that just because it says cichlid formula on the bag does not mean that it's just for cichlids? Mind blown. Today we're going to talk about all of the line of Northfin fish food, each and every bag, their protein makeup, and what types of fish they're good for. So follow me. Cichlid formula. You've got a firemouth, you've got an Oscar, and you've got an African cichlid. But did you know that cichlid formula is good for any carnivorous and omnivore type fish? That's right, any. It's got 40% protein, and the number one ingredient, you guessed it, whole Antarctic krill. Now this could be found in a wide variety of sizes, everything from 100 grams to 2.5 kilograms. That's just over 5 pounds. Now, this comes in 3 different pellet sizes, 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, and 3 millimeter. So it has a wide variety of sizes for your fish, carnivore and omnivore fish. So, now we jump over to veggie formula. You can see you've got a beautiful, beautiful tang, Mbuna, and Tropheus. Well, that's all I can feed it to my fish. If I have one of these 3 fish, that's it. Wrong. This is an amazing veggie pellet. You guessed it, it's good for herbivore and omnivore fish. So I can feed them to majority of my tank in here. They will do great. Protein content, 36%. So maybe not so great. We're gonna have to supplement with something. But here is veggie. It comes in the same sizes as cichlid formula does. It comes in 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, and 3 millimeter. Bags ranging anywhere from 100 grams to 2.5 kilograms, just over 5 pounds. Remember, herbivore and omnivore. Not everything you read on the internet is going to be absolute fact or correct. We should know that by now. So if you think you have an omnivore fish, you can feed this. But please, if you have an herbivore fish, feed this to them if you're purchasing Northfin fish food products. You can see all of the ingredients at NorthFinUSA.com. And the great part, number one ingredient, 100% organic kelp. Doesn't mean it's 100% kelp in here, it just means it's organic. The next ingredient after that is whole Antarctic krill. Pretty great product. So here's the cream of the crop. This is the one you hear about. In Canada, you'll hear it called Krill Gold. In the US, we have Krill Pro. Same exact ingredients, same packaging, just the name at the end is slightly different. Now this is good for all carnivore and omnivore fish. I would not feed this to any herbivore fish, and there's a reason. There's a higher protein count than that of cichlid formula, and you don't recommend cichlid formula to any herbivore fish. But this is an amazing supplement, and it is 85%. So 85% of the makeup of this pellet is whole Antarctic krill. You're getting a high quality pellet. Now the cool thing is, you can feed this in different packs. You've got 80 grams all the way up to 2.5 kilograms. Crazy part? You've got 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, and 6 millimeter pellets. So you can feed your larger carnivore fish, and if you have a larger omnivore fish, same thing. But you can also feed fry the 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter is actually 1 millimeter, so it is slightly smaller than that of what you see out in the market. Yeah. Jumbo fish formula. Now, this is pretty cool because there's only a frontosa on the front. So I get this question a lot. I have a frontosa, should I only feed jumbo formula? No, you can absolutely feed cichlid formula. Absolutely. If your frontosa is not that big. This was designed for bigger carnivore and omnivore fish. Since we stop at 3 millimeters, we get 4 millimeter and 6 millimeter pellets from this actual jumbo formula. Now the neat part is it's got whole Antarctic krill, but it has 44% protein. So 4% higher than that of cichlid formula. And like I said, you're only getting it in 4 and 6 millimeter pellets. So if you got those big fish and they're omnivores and you don't want to feed a carnivore type food, jumbo fish formula is where it's at. Now, I've already said carnivore, herbivore, and omnivore fish. So I've just hit the spectrum of pretty much every fish out there. But some fish don't prefer pellets. Some fish want sticks. So Northfin has a 3 millimeter stick called Tropical Sticks. It's good for, you guessed it, carnivore and omnivore fish. Now this comes in a wide variety of sizes. It starts at 250 grams. It goes all the way up to 2.5 kilograms. But the cool part about Northfin fish food is you don't have to use as much as your other brand. Because it's a high quality food, the fish are going to take in more of the nutrients, and this keeping them more healthy, not as hungry, and better looking. So, number 1 ingredient, high omega-3 DHA herring meal. Oh yes, I am not trying this. Now, let's move on to kelp wafers. Almost knocked down the whole thing. So kelp wafers, cool bag, very similar to VEGGIE, very similar ingredients, but it's in the shape of a wafer. This is going to appeal, yes, you guessed it, you've got plecos, your saltwater fish, your tropheus. This is going to appeal to a wide array of different fish. This is good for herbivore and omnivore. I can throw it in here and they can go to town, if that's what you want to do. This is a 14 millimeter disc or wafer, and the number 1 ingredient is organic kelp. Yes, it is organic. Now remember, all of these come from Canada, so they have a higher stringent process of producing any type of food material, whether it's for humans or fish consumption. This comes in 100 gram packs all the way to 2.5 kilogram packs. So if you're breeding a ton of plecos, this would be the best food to feed, and you can get it in a 5+ pound bag. Now, for those of you into koi, there's a few. There is a product for you. The neat part is this is good for all types of koi fish and large goldfish. So if you don't like the goldfish because it's too small, you've got a 6 millimeter koi pellet in a cool looking bag. Now, I don't carry a lot of these because there's not a ton of koi people out there purchasing high quality food. But if you got some of those ornamental fish that you just want to absolutely make the best life for them and allow them to look as good as they're supposed to, then you would feed Koi Supreme. There's 39% crude protein, and the number 1 ingredient is herring, whole herring meal. Now, we cannot escape that an arowana is now becoming a very, very extremely popular fish. Some can get it, some can't. But if you can, here is a 3 millimeter stick with 44% crude protein. Whole Antarctic krill is your number 1 ingredient. Now the neat part is you can still feed this to any carnivore fish, likewise of just an arowana. Now, I carry these, and I didn't think they'd go as fast as they do, but they do. So get your arowana pellet. Now, we talked earlier about Koi Supreme. Here's goldfish formula. This is for all types of goldfish. It's a 2 millimeter pellet. I only carry 100 gram packs because you really shouldn't be feeding these suckers a ton of food. We just walk by and dump it all in and walk away and our water's cloudy. Get a high quality food The number one ingredient is KELP organic, it's certified, and then the second is whole Antarctic krill meal. It's 36% crude protein, like I said, any goldfish. Now I didn't want to forget about a marine formula, because hey, look, it says marine, it's good for marine, right? Wrong. You can use this for any types of herbivore or omnivore marine fish. Now, this is very similar to that of the veggie formula. So if you got veggie formula, you can absolutely feed it to your marine fish. Now, this comes in 1 and 2 millimeter pellets. I carry it in 20 gram packs, 100 gram packs, and 250 gram packs. It comes in 1 millimeter and 0.5 millimeter, which is really small. You guessed it, number one ingredient, organic kelp. This food's too good to be true. No, it's not. It's amazing. 4 years ago, I got my hands on this food, and since then, I have not used another food. Not used another food. I've done videos on the comparisons, and it just comes down to in longevity, in terms of quality ingredients, in terms of my fish health, and the way they look, and the quality of my water now, second to none. So we didn't want to leave out your turtles, but you may have newts or frogs, things of that nature. You could still feed turtle sticks to them. I only carry it in the 100 gram packs, and let me tell you, I tried this. We rescued a red-eared slider from outside. We have no water around, have no idea where he came from. We put him in a 40-gallon breeder, which helps because he has room to grow. We got him when he was about the size of a quarter. A lot of people said he may not survive. I actually started feeding him regular CICHLID pellets and then jumped to turtle sticks. He is now 4 times the size he was, and I don't know the exact timing, but we haven't even had him 6 months. So now he's about this big, and it's time for him to go back in the wild. This has 43% crude protein, and the number one ingredient is high omega-3 DHA herring meal. All types of aquatic turtles, newts, and frogs. Really cool. Now, we didn't want to leave out the community fish. Why? Because, well, there's a ton of planet tanks with community fish. Well, this is good for any types of carnivore and omnivore fish. Please do not feed community to your herbivore fish. Please don't. But this is a great, great product. 40% protein, whole Antarctic krill is the number one ingredient. 0.5 millimeter and 1 millimeter sizes. I carry it in 20 gram packs, 250 gram packs, and this 100 gram pack. Now, most of you say, well, what about fry? Well, I actually highly recommend 1 millimeter pellets for fry as they start to grow. But if you're looking for a please don't mind this bag, I've been using it. This is 48% crude protein. There's only one ingredient. It's 100% whole Antarctic krill, but it is a 250 microgram powder. Okay, it's not a pellet. I mean, it is a pellet in terms of if you get down microscopically, but this is extremely small. So you could just sprinkle a little bit in there, pinch it, put it in the water, yes, or just let it go. So that's why I end up going to a 1 millimeter pellet so they can pick at it throughout the day. Last but certainly not least, we've got people that have some massive, massive fish. This is a 5-pound plus bag, 2.5 kilograms. This is carnivore. It's recommended for all types of carnivore fish. It has herring meal, whole sardine meal, and whole Antarctic krill meal. 48%. Please, only feed this to carnivorous fish. You can see those types of fish on the front. This only comes in a massive 10 millimeter pellet. So if you've got those red tail cats, if you've got any one of these, I'm talking peacock bass, this is the perfect food for you. The neat part about this, I want to take a moment to talk about this food. I had somebody contact me that was growing an aquaponics type system where they had a ton of different fish. They couldn't get them to eat a lot of stuff, and they were looking for a very high quality food because, yes, they are growing their own stuff to eat and keep. She reached out to us. She got a sample of carnivore. She absolutely loved it, and she ended up ordering carnivore. It's a neat story because I've never had anybody from an aquaponics type system contact me for fish food. Mind blown. She's happy, I'm happy, her fish are happy, and her stomach's going to be happy when she starts eating these bad boys. So, the only thing we don't have listed is beta bits. Beta bits is specifically for betas. It's an amazing little food. It's a very small pellet for your beta, and I can't keep it in. I get it in and it goes right out. So, unfortunately, I'm unable to show you what the bag looks like, but it's got a beautiful beta on it, and you guessed it, supreme ingredients. So check it out on the website. So that's it for today. We've talked about every single bag and millimeter and you name it from Northfin. You can get all of these at NorthFinUSA.com. If you have any questions whatsoever, please contact us at NorthFinUSA@gmail.com. I hope this has been informative. I hope you've taken something from this video. And as always, holla!